That's another 2 Art Attack scrapbooks filled. And it's all with work that you've sent in. It's brilliant. Take a look at some of these. Now, Scott's unusual egg picture has been achieved by dripping ink onto wet blotting paper and letting it run. The splodges remind me a bit of coral. Peter's black and white still life has been created with watercolours and inks. Nice technique, Peter. Coloured washing up liquid has been used by Adam for his Art Attack. Nice colours. And what about this? Katie's Art Attack of White Cliffs reminded me of my summer holidays on the beach. So how did you do it, Katie?
I created my scene by sketching my design out first. I then finished it off with acrylic paints and added detail when the paint was dry.
Yep, everyone brilliant. And do you know what? I often do that with my own Art Attacks. Add detail when the paint is dry. But I've come up with another way of adding detail, doing detail while the paint is still wet. Now, to do this, you need a piece of coloured paper or thin card and a different colour or shade of paint. Now, I'm going to use dark blue paint on light blue card. Now, the paint needs to be quite thick, so acrylic paint is best, or you could use poster paint mixed with PVA glue. Just squirt a generous dollop of paint onto your card, and then you need to spread it around quite quickly before the paint starts drying. So just smear it around like this. Great fun to do, very messy. And you know, it's best to use a big brush to do this so you can do it quickly. And then it's just a case of scraping a pattern or texture into the paint. Now, to do this, you could use old cocktail sticks, or maybe the wrong end of a paintbrush or pen, maybe some cardboard. What about plastic knives and forks? I think I'm going to use this old pencil for this. In fact, anything you can lay your hands on that you don't mind getting paint on, you can get stuck into the paint. So I'm going to use this old pencil, and here we go. The idea is to scrape the pattern into your paint. See that? Nice swirly swirl there, and just keep going. And at the moment the paint is nice and soft, but this acrylic paint does dry quickly. That's why you should always wash your brush quickly afterwards, otherwise it all gets clogged up. There it is, look at that. And as you scrape your pattern in, the colour of the card underneath shows through. You can do any pattern you like for this. Lots of different textures and patterns. And one more there, I think. And when you've done a sheet like that, just leave it to one side to dry. And this technique works really well with lots of different combinations of paper and paint colour. Look at that. Aren't they brilliant? All different techniques, different patterns, and you get really striking effect when you use a colour of card with a completely different colour of paint on top. Look at this one, yellow card with green paint and lots of scratches and swirls in there. Now, when you've done a lot of different sheets like this, look at what you've got to see if these colours and patterns inspire you to make a picture. For example, this one here, the blue one with squiggles on it, could be like a stormy sky. Then you can build on your idea, cutting out different shapes from your different sheets to build up a picture. Look at this one. I've done yellow paint on orange card, and I've got this like, well, it's sort of sand dune effect, so that can be a beach. And then this pattern made me think of waves. See that? Just curves there. So I've cut out, well, it's a sea. So I'm going to stick it in there like that. So you've got the sky, the sea, and the beach. And some of these other patterns I've done here, well, this one, this sort of swirly, sort of straggly pattern reminded me of seaweed, you know, the way it just reaches out like that. So I've cut out seaweed shapes there. And these curly ones, this was white paint on black paper. I've got some swirly clouds, and while I was at it, I created a little seagull up there. And this, well, look at this, a gold one. Sort of, well, it's gold on gold, but you get that raised texture. So that's a good swirly sun. And just finally in there, I've cut out this starfish shape. And look at this pattern I've done here reminded me of a seashell. So I've simply cut that shape out of the pattern. And then it goes there like that. And when you're happy with your design, you can stick all of the pieces down, and there you have a scratch pattern paint picture, all made using patterns scratched into paint. and not a drawing in sight. And this technique works really well for lots of different types of picture. Look at that. It works well for animal patterns because you've got all these swirls here. Or what about some stripes? Again, brilliant for animals. Or how about even some blocks or squares? Good for some other animals. Or how about doing any size you like, combining all the different techniques together to make one big picture. Brilliant. And don't forget, you can check out the website for fact sheets on this and all the other art attacks in the show. So go on, try it yourself, a scratch pattern paint picture. And I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!